Hi guys, it's Chris, and I am here today doing a video that I just feel compelled to do because I just am catching up on reacts of the whole Amber thing, this surgeon doxing drama with the Narc alert. Oh, she's such a villain. And I just think a lot of people don't understand the full spectrum of what's going on. So I'm going to explain, and I haven't watched this. I only vaguely saw a part of Merck's react via one of the ankles videos, because I watch his channel. I'm going to tell you, I was a former medical care worker. I was a medical care provider to the level of very advanced care. Like when I say I worked in the medical field, I don't mean I was the cashier at a hospital gift shop. I was a nationally registered paramedic. I worked on an ambulance, and I worked in the emergency room later on. And then I even did a temporary position. I filled a temporary position at a physician's office as the front desk person / medical assistant. And I had to know HIPAA inside and out. Violating it, there are people that do it, but violating it is very serious. And this very esteemed surgeon and his staff probably take it very seriously. I'm sure they have different situations that come up considering he is a celebrity surgeon. So I do think they probably run into issues with being contacted by fans and haters and trolls and stuff like that. But they're not risking anything for Amberlynn Reid. So yes, a paramedic is a very advanced medical care provider. I had to know it because I had to abide by certain rules both out in the field and in an in-building setting. So we're going to see what Merck has to say. I'm going to explain things as we go. I'm going to try not to be as comical and campy as I normally am, because this is serious and this can put a lot of confusion to rest for people. And if Amber wants to try to contest me on this, I don't think she will, because the only thing the bitch knows about medical stuff is what she looks on Dr. Google and from the status of being a patient, not being a care provider. So try me is all I have to say. Try me. First, just to give us an idea, an overview of what HIPAA is, okay? It's very, very technical and long-winded, so I looked up a short version of it. This is from a website that actually provides courses to businesses so that to teach, because you actually have to go to a HIPAA class and learn about HIPAA and pass a certification and stuff, so they know that you are aware of it. And I'll just read this short excerpt, and it will give you the gist of what HIPAA is. It says, why HIPAA matters. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act is a U.S. federal law. Okay, so there are federal repercussions potentially for violating this. Okay, so that's serious. It's a federal law that sets standards for protecting sensitive patient health information. It mandates the confidentiality and security of healthcare records and transactions, ensuring patient privacy. HIPAA compliance is crucial for healthcare providers, insurance companies, and their business associates, as it governs how personal health information is used and disclosed. Non-compliance can lead to legal penalties and damage to reputation, and compliance opens the way to business opportunities with HIPAA-obligated companies. And that's not even including just you will get fired instantly for violating HIPAA. If somebody comes to your boss and says that person did something that was they can't risk it and they automatically fire you. It's not like a slap on the wrist. Oh, you did a bad thing. No. And I've seen that happen. So that being said, let's get into this and then I will say the rest. And I hope that Merc does not mind me using a little clip here from her live react. I'm going to go back and watch the full thing after I'm done here. But I do like most of the other reaction channels. I am a reactor, so I feel like if like Amber or somebody came for me hard wrongfully, I would appreciate somebody coming to my aid, especially if they worked in that field and they have that experience. So I feel like, obviously, Merc doesn't need a hero or anything, but since I have this knowledge, I kind of just want to set the record straight. So let's get into this.
Okay. I specifically said repeatedly during that whole era, I will explain later. You guys will see why I'm upset later. I can't tell you now, but
Oh, and Amber was only doing this right now because she needs the money. Like, I think she's hurting a little bit in the money department.
I'll tell you later. Later is here, and I'm just going to do it short and quick and to the point. I could easily do a whole story time, but I'm just not going to even do that because I'm not going to put...
Do it, Amber. Do it, please. I beg you.
Put my energy into this that hardcore because I just don't want to. I did back then.
Because it's also not really that true. So.
My energy was very much into this back then. I was very upset. So let's get into it. So if you guys remember, I came on...
Merc's like little clips and her facial expressions do crack me up though. I do like it.
My YouTube and I said, oh, I can...
No, Liz, she was very upset. You don't recall that?
Yeah, she was mad.
Get weight loss surgery until I don't binge for a whole...
Vex, it's my fault. But it's...
Yeah, Merc, you are just an absolute villain in this, according to Amber.
Also your fault too. Thank you, Vex, for the super chat. Says it's always our fault. Well, it's never her fault. Let's just put it that way.
A true story. Nothing's ever Amber's fault, even though it is.
It came out of nowhere. It was confusing. It was weird. It made no sense. But I held on to that and I said, okay, let's do it. Then I had an appointment with my dietitian and she said, you're going to come meet the surgeon because we need to talk to you about something.
I truly don't believe this actual conversation happened because, like I said in my react, and it's no pun intended, but the only proper term for it is this surgeon's office have bigger fish to fry than Amberlynn freaking Reid. She thinks she's so much more famous than she actually is. They deal with like legit celebrities, and this doctor is an on TV surgeon. So Amberlynn Reid is not like the penultimate standard of his career.
And this was before I was even supposed to meet the surgeon.
Okay.
Sorry, I itched right here, so that's why I'm super red. I just now noticed. My skin be sensitive. So anyways, I was going to meet the surgeon even before I was supposed to. So long story short, hundreds and hundreds of people were emailing my...
I think maybe some people did to get on her, but I do think a lot of people also like to look up information because she just lies so incessantly that people just want to find out the truth, just to know the truth, to see what she's lying about this time, because a lot of what she lies about is so stupid. And then she gets mad that nobody believes her. Well, I'm sorry, but when everything that comes out of your trap is a lie, people tend to not believe you.
My surgeon finding his...
Long story short, yeah, you missed a lot of details in there. So, guys, that was a... Listen, this is funny.
Look at Rio back there sleeping. He's so cute.
Of people were...
She says she's talking away about the surgery, and then all of a sudden, boom. Long story short.
So long story short, hundreds and hundreds of people were emailing my surgeon.
You guys.
Finding his Instagram.
You guys.
Messaging him.
You mean his public Instagram and his public website for his public business? Okay. That's a very important word there, guys, by the way. Public.
They were contacting my surgeon's office through the phone, through messages.
No.
On their public telephone line that's from the phone number that's listed on their public website. Okay.
Any way that people could contact my surgeon, they were finding it and they were doing it. So how did people find out who my surgeon was? A reaction channel.
Mark raises it was me. I did it.
Did that reaction channel find out?
That was me and Kicking Geese. Do you remember Kicking Geese? She seems to be remarkably absent from this whole story, but Kicking Geese and I were together at that time.
I know some people don't agree with this whole thing, but sometimes, like, yeah, I do think a lot of reactors are the same as like the people on Kiwi Farms and stuff, in the sense that they like to dig things up and know the real deal and stuff like that and get the info just for the sake of clarity and for the sake of having it on record. Nobody ever goes and actually bothers Amberlynn in real life, per se. And she goes on to act like this totally ruined a real life experience for her. And let me tell you, the only thing that ruined this real life experience for Amber was Amber and her chronic laziness and inability to give up food.
At the time of the weight loss surgery, right? I'm going to let her finish and then I'm going to do
who my surgeon was, because I read maybe 2 sentences of an email that was sent to me by my surgeon's office.
Okay, for one thing, she says, that's one thing. So how did all the alerts...
She even showed something and people recognized the logo from 1,000 Pound Sisters. So there's that little factoid that Amber conveniently leaves out.
Let's find out how, because we traced 2 lines of an email, a private email that she publicly showed on YouTube, I might add.
Yeah, she showed it. She showed it in a public video that she monetized.
You know,
and I'll have you know, if you didn't watch my full react to Amber's video, just for funsies, to see how hard it was and how hard and what deep digging Merck had to do to find this surgeon who people already had an idea. We had it narrowed down to 2 people who it was going to be, because she bragged about it being this famous world-class surgeon, because, you know, only the best for Amber. And she bragged about the robots and stuff. I went into Bing, like a subpar search engine, and all I typed in, and I showed this in my react, I typed in, what bariatric surgeon in Kentucky has 2 bariatric surgery robots? And 2 of the first 3 results that came back were Kentucky Bariatric Institute. The second one had pictures and names listed of the care providers, and the very first one shown was Dr. Smith, who, if you watched 1,000 Pound Sisters, you recognize right away. So, I mean, my son could have figured that out, and he's 11, in about 2 minutes. So she didn't have to go and like do this deep digging, like this super stealth, like going out of her way bullshit to find this information.
This might have more to do with how people found her surgeon.
Was like, and this surgeon is actually amazing, an amazing surgeon. #1 surgeon in the state where I am going.
#1 surgeon.
And they do it robotically. And normally, they actually taught this there. Normally, the surgeon has like 1 robotic in their like hospital or whatever, but they have 2. And
they have 2. And that's all I needed to type in for them to come back as a hit.
They said it's very rare for a bariatric facility to have 2, but they have 2 because of how good they are. This surgeon has won awards. Things are looking up, and things are
won awards.
I don't know. I'm just feeling really good. I'm just feeling really
award-winning surgery.
I mean, she stopped short just of saying he's a male and he has a bald head. Oh, and he's been on TLC.
Is the top in the state who's at a bariatric center that has 2 robotic devices that nobody else has. Gosh, Merck dug a lot for that.
No, she did. Yeah, like I said, okay. She didn't.
That's just one. Let's go back to the. Let's go back to this now.
This reactor wanted to know so badly who my surgeon was,
that's what it was,
that they faked wanting to get weight loss surgery just so they could get that email back to them to confirm who my weight loss surgeon was. And once they confirmed who my weight loss surgeon was, what did they do? They doxed him.
And like I said, I'm going to tell you now, this is not a dox. This is not a dox because this was public information. They didn't dig up his private address and his private phone numbers and try to get to his house and find pictures of him and his kids in their yard or dropping them off at school or following him around or anything. This is all public information that he wants people to know, because you know what? He wants people to know he's a bariatric surgeon so they can come to him to get their surgery. Okay, so you don't hide your information. He wouldn't have showed up on a TV show if he wanted to stay hidden. That's stupid. That's not doxing. If anything, at most, that is like an information leak. But it is not a dox. Whether you agree with what the Narc alert did or not, she didn't dox anybody. She didn't dox anything. And she didn't do a deep dive to find this out. And this whole, oh, somebody attended the seminar thing, clearly somebody was in that area and they went to the seminar. Okay, that might be a little extreme for some people's tastes. But again, they didn't go and talk to Amber. They didn't harass her. They reported back that they saw Amber and Jade there. And that, by the way, Amber wasn't paying attention at all. And Jade had to keep telling her to put her phone down. That shows you Amber's level of commitment to this program right away. It was never there. That person could have taken sneaky pictures of Amber, videos, posted them, shared them with reaction channels. They didn't do that. They didn't do any such thing. All they said is, yeah, this is the one. Amber and Jade are here and they're in this seminar. And that was it. So, I mean, somebody of a lesser character would have actually tried to get pictures and stuff of Amber, and they didn't do that. So give credit where it's due.
Okay. Now, when Amberlynn Reid mentioned that there was an online seminar that she was going to take, well, our whole community, as well as I'm sure all of Kiwi Farms, and maybe some of the lovely, kind people on Reddit, well, everybody was very interested in this, right? So, as I've shown you just in that one clip, there's a lot of them, but there's that one clip that basically, without saying a name, has told us exactly the bariatric center she was going to.
And these little, like, online things that you can sign up for, and then, like, they can have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in these because it's just like a little online presentation, and it's just to give people an idea about the facility and what they offer, to get people interested, to see if their place is right for them, to encourage them to be like, okay, I'm going to take the next step and actually contact these people and go see them. They want people to do this. That's why it's so quick. It's so easy. You don't have to put in your weight or anything, because they want people doing this because it helps them get clients. So this is a very quick, simple, easy way of getting information to a client.
We were not, to be honest, we were really not that interested in who the hell her surgeon.
And it's a good way to fact check Amber, because Amber lies.
Was.
Oh, sorry. Laws.
Shady, stupid, petty little thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to take the online seminar that Amberlynn was going to take. We wanted to learn all the information she was going to learn, and maybe later down the road we could catch her and stuff because we took that.
Exactly. Catch her when she lies, because she's gonna.
That seminar too, an educational seminar on weight loss surgery. Well, now, the problem is Amber said, I needed to know this so badly that I called up this center and I lied about needing surgery and my weight and all this bullshit to get an email back, right?
Which she did not do.
Let me show you. This is from the Kentucky Bariatric Center website. Okay, it's a website. A website by its very nature is a public way to share your contact information for a business. Many businesses build websites so that the general public can find them and
yeah, and if you look, it says register for our free, in capital letters, educational seminar. And the information's listed, you know, it's just like, number of guests, this and that. It doesn't ask about your weight or anything. It's just like, okay, here, sign up for this and we'll give you this basic information to get you to decide whether you want more or not. His phone number, the totally doxed phone number, is right there. I can see it. Okay. I hate when medical people are drugged through the mud because I was one.
Contact them to get involved in getting their services.
I'm sorry, guys, like the pollen is, I am so stuffy. I can't hardly breathe out of my nose. So if you hear me sniffing, I apologize. That's been a problem in a few videos, but it doesn't seem to be clearing up. I'm trying to mute the microphone while I do it, but it's a new mic and I keep missing where the sensor is on the top of this thing to mute it. So I do apologize. I know it's annoying as hell and I'm trying to fix it. See, I'm missing it.
That's what websites are for, right? So given the information that she gave us, we narrowed it down to this particular Kentucky Bariatric Center. Now, to be honest, we were never really sure if this was the right place, but, we just figured, close enough anyway, right? You'll see this form here. It says, this form is not intended for the submission of personal medical information. What they ask here for is a date, how many people are going to attend, your name, your email address, your phone number, insurance, and how you heard about them. So I did lie. I said I was self-paid because I don't really have insurance. But if I was going to go to Kentucky Bariatric Institute, I would be a self-pay. So I guess it's not really a lie. So, yeah. Now, involved in this seminar and also on the website, you can see right here is a little thing called Meet Our Team. Meet Our Team. Now,
and look who the first picture is. The first, video, 2 out of the 3 are Dr. Smith. So, of course, he's the one that's been on TLC. He's one of the main surgeons there. They're going to plaster his face all over everything as much as physically possible because like it or not, whether it's true or not, I think he's probably a very gifted surgeon. He seems to really care about people. He's got all the advanced technologies. Very high-end surgeon. But just being a celebrity will make people want to go to you or choose you over somebody else if they have a choice. So he is obviously going to be the poster child for this place.
Delicate and doxed Dr. Smith is right here.
Delicate and doxed Dr. Smith who doesn't want to be seen, right? Oh my God, yeah.
Remember, she's the one that said it was the award-winning head of the place who's done celebrities, right? The man has an Instagram with 50,000 followers, apparently. I don't know. I heard Zachary Michael say that yesterday. Can you tell me how the fuck I can dox a doctor who's got a website with their contact information there?
You can't, because being a doctor is a public profession where you publicly share it. Because guess what? Without the public knowing, you don't have patients and you don't get paid. You don't have a practice. You don't have a job.
With a general form for anybody to fill out. Anybody can go on this website and fill out this form. Anybody.
Yeah, if you were just somebody who wanted to learn about bariatric surgery in general, even if you didn't need it, you could sign up for this and get maybe some basic info.
And you can get a link to that online seminar and you can take it. You know what we did? And about 200 people took it. And it was fun and it was quite boring, to be honest. It wasn't that interesting. And then we moved on from it.
Yeah, if you're not really I find medical stuff like that interesting because that's a big part of my wheelhouse. That was a huge part of my life and my career. I worked in the medical field for years. So somebody like me, a nerd, would like that. But yeah, it's going to be boring if that's not really your thing or if you're not into it. But,
And I'll tell you something else. When we took the seminar, the day after Amberlynn Reid took the seminar. So isn't it fascinating then? Number one, here's another thing I'm going to say. I can't speak for everybody in my community because I don't know most of you. Excuse me. I don't know most of you. But generally the way my community rolls is we're not very mean-spirited. We're not. We raise money for things. We do charitable stuff. You know, that's kind of in our DNA, even in our Discord. You know,
that's nice. That's really good.
On our Discord, if you make a comment on an Amberlynn Reid video, you're not even allowed to repost it in our Discord because we don't want to promote that kind of petty stupidity, right? So the fact that the thought that my community would go to the effort to do that is kind of ridiculous. I can't prove or disprove that. I also am curious, did they all call and say, hi, I'm calling from the office of the Narc Alert, and I'd like to report Amberlynn Reid. Like, how did she know those were people from Kiwi Farms? Or, you know, assuming that people called. Here's another point. This famous doctor has dealt with television personalities before on TLC. The guys.
Yeah, so he's definitely had calls and stuff related to the slate, and, you know, to Tammy and stuff. So like I said, Amber is not so important that she would have been the bigger problem.
It's on television. You know, TLC, I know this is going to come as a really big surprise to you guys. TLC has a little bit more reach than I do on here.
You don't say. I know. Amber's so she's got such a grandiose opinion of herself.
On the Narc Alert channel, there might be more people that know him from TLC than from the Narc Alert. Okay, it's so stupid. We never asked anybody to phone the fucking doctor. I don't even remember the doctor's name until she said it.
Well, the thing is Amber's pissed people off so badly with her lying. The people will do this just to be able to catch her in a lie and call her out. Because if you think about it, people pay Amber, you know, people pay her bills and stuff. And I mean, at the end of the day, YouTubers don't really owe you anything. At the very least, they owe you a little bit of honesty. You know, if she doesn't have a fallback career, this isn't a side hustle for her. Without us watching her, she has nothing. Okay? So, people want some integrity from somebody that they watch, and they follow your life and you share your life. They get vested in it emotionally, physically. They just put a lot of their time physically watching you as opposed to something else. So at the very least, Amber owes people honesty. And the fact that she lies so badly and about the dumbest things, it gets people mad. And people will go out of their way to prove her wrong just for themselves and to share it with other people, because people are just like, oh my God, what bullshit is she spitting out now? She has caused the visceral response that people have to her.
Nobody cares. It's such a non-issue. We filled out a friggin' form to watch a weight loss seminar. That's what the famous doxing is all about. I know.
Yeah,
I found
and then I hope she goes a little more into Amber's video, because either way, whether she does or not, I'm going to get into the fact that Amber made it sound like these people violated her HIPAA rights and did something seriously wrong, which I'll tell you details later, but spoiler alert, they did no such thing. They did not.
Surgeon's public website. I'm a monster. I don't even remember pointing out his contact information. I filled out this form. I'm the one that's, quite frankly, still getting email from the Kentucky Bariatric Institute.
Oh, God, yeah. Now she's going to be on their mailing list, and she's going to get, like, the auto emails all the time now.
You know, I know you guys. It's shocking. TLC.
I'm sure Amber has those instantly redirected to the trash.
Does actually have a few more viewers than me. And Amy and Tammy might have more haters or people that watch them than Amberlynn Reid, because that TLC thing again. But you know, poor Dr. Smith, man, he's never been the same since the Narc Alert got her teeth on him, because that's the kind of monster.
That's so funny.
That's just the kind of monsters that we are. You know, so once I doxed him, then you monsters took over and you just called and called and called. Because you're just, it's, you know, and actually Instagrammed him. I don't know. Like Amber said, you searched out and you found it.
I got to pull out my camera. so you guys can, so I could start doing the face cam again. That's just a lot of fun, because it's always more fun when you can see the reactions of the people reacting.
Instagram? A famous television surgeon with thousands of followers, and you guys sniffed him out. Crazy. Let's go back.
They said, this is Amber.
And then the smugness Amber like has in all of this, it just makes her even more punchable.
Lynn's surgeon, this is who he is, blah, 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 blah. Well, my surgeon was Dr. Smith.
I guess I want to tell too, there's a shout out to Lauren Burkhart, is it? You guys know, we've posted the link before. She did a really good video about this topic, and it's not really good because it kisses my ass. She posts a live stream that I forgot about that shows Kicking Geese and I giggling and talking the surgeon's name in the website and all that. I don't like that. I don't really like that I did that. I think it was kind of tacky now looking back. We didn't do anything wrong and we didn't dox the surgeon, I'll tell you that. The other thing is Kicking Geese is sitting right beside me, telling me to lie about the insurance. So she's no innocent angel in all this either, Amberlynn Reid. But regardless, she is, because we didn't do anything wrong.
No,
did we go too far? Probably. Was it stupid? Yeah. Would I do it again? Probably not. But we really didn't do anything.
And they did it in like their private Discord. They didn't do it on like a YouTube live stream. I mean, what happens in Discord stays in Discord usually, or it's like, but I mean, this, people knew who the hell this guy was.
Wrong. We didn't dox anybody, and we certainly didn't ruin her surgery. It's amazing how we showed that seminar the day after she took it, and yet all these hundreds of alerts sat on that personal contact information for fucking months before they started calling the doctor, like 10 months later, to get her surgery moved up, and then she didn't like that and couldn't do it. So I still don't even understand what the problem was here, but anyway, let's just finish it off.
Who did Tammy Slayton's surgery. I have met him. He is wonderful.
Tammy Slayton, who's visibly a lot thinner and smaller than you now, Amber. I just love bringing that up every chance I get, that Amber is now the biggest girl in girl world, and she's probably just absolutely hates that.
Wonderful. He was understanding. So when I met him and we had that meeting, I explained to him everything. He explained to me the type of messages and things that he was receiving. It was people saying how I binged and I lie.
Guess what you do? And you know what? Here's like, okay, here's where I'm going to get into this. This surgeon, okay, even a non-famous doctor, ultimately will not make a decision on somebody's care based on what some shitlords that they don't even know say via an Instagram message or a phone call or an email. Okay? A doctor, in this case Amber's doctor, makes their decisions on care, especially something as serious as a surgical procedure like a gastric bypass, on a 500+ pounder like Amber. He is only going to make decisions on her care and what they're going to do, her treatment plan, based on what he sees from her labs, from her appointments, from the reports from the dietitian, from the therapist, whatever. What some rando on the internet says isn't going to matter. Although in Amber's case, the only way it kind of would matter is the fact that she kept going in there saying, oh, I'm doing everything. Yeah, I'm doing everything. I'm totally listening to you guys. Like, in that case, I do think it's important for the surgeon to know that, yes, she is lying. She's doing nothing to change, because the safety of the surgical procedure depends on her transparency with them. Although they wouldn't have needed the haters to call and say Amber lies. Because you know what? I'm going to quote another famous doctor, surgeon, weight loss surgeon, who I have a lot of respect for. One Dr. Now's famous phrase says, "The scales don't lie, people do." And they would have known that Amber was lying based on the fact that she was not losing any weight. Hell, she wasn't even able to maintain her weight. She kept gaining. The fact that she was unable to stick to any plan they gave her, to try to stick to any plan, to the point where we witnessed and heard every time she would go back to this dietitian, they literally dumbed her diet plan down to the bare bones they possibly could. From, you need to eat this way, do this, prioritize this food first, then this macro, then that macro, stay within these calories, stay within these macro counts. That's how it started, because that's how they do it for everybody. To eventually, they dumbed it down to, hey, eat whatever the hell you want. Just come back and not have gained weight. Just come back in a month and please have not have gained weight. So they dumbed it down for her because they knew she was non-compliant, because, spoiler alert, Amber, there's no way she could have even been trying their plan and sticking to it in a half-assed manner and maintained her weight or gained. If she would have even stuck to their plan the last week, the week before her appointment, she would have lost that pound. She would have lost a couple pounds. And the fact that didn't even happen, they knew she was non-compliant. That's why, spoiler alert, another one, the surgery the doctor talked about getting her was a SATI, and that is given for really bad diabetic patients. It is given to patients that they know, and that's why he was going to do this for Tammy. And I do believe he did actually do this for Tammy, because that particular surgery is done to people who they know are to be non-compliant, because it restricts the absorption of calories and everything the most drastically out of all of the current bariatric surgery procedures. So it was definitely more advanced, more drastic than a sleeve or even a full gastric bypass. So they knew she was non-compliant, and that's why he pushed for that one, because they knew Amber wasn't going to listen. She's going to overeat. She's going to eat what she's not supposed to. So at least whatever she does eat, she is going to absorb as little as possible. And that was an attempt on their part to get her to lose as much weight as possible so they could go back and do, additional procedures if they need to, and just start getting the weight off of her. And it makes me wonder if she is in fact pre or fully diabetic, because that and gastric bypass helps instantly reverse that. The problem is it also drastically reduces nutrient absorption. So she would have really had to have been vigilant about taking her vitamins, taking her supplements, eating her protein shakes, and prioritizing her protein first after, taking her shots. A lot of the supplements and vitamins and stuff after surgery are injectables. So she definitely would have had problems with hydration and dumping syndrome. But the point is that nobody needed anyone to call and tip him off that, hey, Amberlynn's not being honest, because her body, her behavior absolutely speaks for itself.
So not only was I fighting for my...
And why does she think that it's all from the Narc Alerts community? It's not Kiwi Farm.
It wasn't. It was everybody. It would have been a myriad of people, because guess what? Amber has made a lot of enemies.
It's not Reddit. And quite frankly, in watching Zachary Michael's video, she says here she thanks him because he knew and he sat on it. He's pissed off because...
I guarantee she only told him information. That was the setup. That was to see if he would actually keep his mouth shut on it. That was a full setup on his part, and it didn't work for her.
I never even thought of it till he said it yesterday. She gave him that information, and then that was highly manipulative, because then he couldn't react properly because he had to keep her secret while he was reacting the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe a Putu, thank you for the super chat, says Merc equals the world's best Guess Who champion. So, he wasn't happy with that manipulation, but then he even says she sent him a kind of mean-spirited DM that she was mad at him because she said he was doxing her surgeon.
No shocker.
So,
no, he wasn't.
In the moment, she was mad at him, but she was mad at us, but apparently it wasn't Kiwi Farms or...
But she never brings up, oh yeah, by the way, I know I bragged about the 2 robots and all this and that. Funny how she never mentions anything regarding her part in the whole thing, in this whole non-doxing situation.
Reddit. Like, Amber, you gave out enough personal information that the whole damn internet knew where you were going for the surgery. Nobody doxed your doctor. So
they didn't.
Surgeries, I was fighting against hundreds of people because of a careless reaction channel. I was pissed. I was hurt.
You know who's careless, Amber? You. That's why you're trying to twist this narrative like you always do. Because really, if you want, you know, lots of people, famous people, not that she is, celebrities go to doctors and people know the doctors they go to for this stuff. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if you truly want to keep that secret, then you shut your fucking mouth and you don't talk about how good he is and what he does and what's in
pretty much
the clinic and what awards he's won. You shut your mouth. You know who's careless? You're careless. You were careless, not us. We were stupid.
Hurt because it's like, react to me all day. Go for it. I really don't care at this point. But
except you totally do care, Amber.
Stop getting in the fucking way of my life.
Here's the other thing.
It didn't get in the way of your life, though. It didn't get in the way of her life. This had no effect on her personal life, her private life, her surgery experience, which, by the way, I firmly believe I'm in the camp that she never intended to get this surgery anyways. This was for money and content and to string Jade along a little bit longer. Because I believe at this point, Jade had it with their lack of having a life, that Amber had never changed, never did anything, never lost the weight she said she was going to, you know, lose. They weren't able to travel and do all these things that Amber just dishonestly promised her in the beginning, right? To hook her and get her in. So, this had no effect on Amber's life whatsoever. And it definitely did not prevent her from getting surgery.
What kind of fucking center lets randos from the internet phone the surgeon to talk about one of his patients? Can you?
Yeah, and that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that stuff had nothing to do with her treatment. And guess what? Now here's where HIPAA comes into it anymore. Like Mark or anybody on the internet, somebody who loves Amber, somebody who hates her, they could call. But as soon as they mention Amberlynn Reid, they can give you general information like, yeah, we do bariatric surgery here. Yes, we do have 2 robots. Yes, Dr. Smith is a surgeon here. They can't say anything about Amber. Okay, and this is the example, and this is like in just it's general info, but it's definitely in defense of I know she doesn't need me to hero for her, but it is in defense of Narc Alert and whoever else like Amber tries to throw under the bus for this. This is like an example I gave in my video, and it is somebody could live in a house across the street from this Kentucky Bariatric Institute. They could be sitting out there with a cup of coffee and watch Amber go into the clinic and come out of the clinic. They could then immediately go in and say, oh my God, I love Amberlynn Reid so much. I'm her biggest fan. I can't believe she's coming here. I can't believe this is where she's getting her surgery. You could have walked in while Amber was still there at the counter making her next appointment and say, oh, hi, Amber. And you could then go, wow, that was Amberlynn Reid. She's going here? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to the same place that Amber's going. And they couldn't even confirm that she was a patient there. Even though they saw you see her there, all they could say is, well, we legally, what they would have to say is something like, oh, I can't disclose if she's a patient here or not, or if she's gotten any information, or if she's been seen here, or if she's in our program. And you could say, well, I just saw her leaving. And all they could say is, well, we can't disclose if she goes here or not. Like they can't. So there's like so these people calling and saying, hey, is this Amberlynn's surgeon? She's lies and stuff, you know. they're going to say, we can't give any information. I don't know if she's a patient here. If I did, I can't tell you. And they certainly wouldn't have given you any information as far as, yeah, it's Amberlynn Reid. This is where she lives. This is her weight. This is what we're doing. This is the plan. They wouldn't have given any information. So Amber's medical information was not in jeopardy at all. And this isn't like some little small town clinic in the country, in the hills of Kentucky, where everybody knows everybody and stuff like that. This is a highly well-known surgeon at a highly known bariatric surgery institute. They're not going to because guess what? If one of their employees like were to like screech and say something, one, like I said, that person's going to get fired immediately. But two, if somebody goes back, they can sue that person and therefore sue who they were working for, which means the Kentucky Bariatric Institute could have been sued, and that would also threaten that clinic. But it would also potentially threaten its licensure as well as the licensure of the medical professionals working there. None of these people are going to risk any of that to say anything about one Amberlynn Reid, some YouTube morbid obese narc who has main character syndrome in her own life. Like, they are not, they wouldn't risk it for Tammy Slayton. So this was a non-issue. She's just making it out to be huge because Amber has to be the victim, right? It's one more reason for her to bitch and moan and eat her feelings.
Tell me what in the name of holy HIPAA is going on in the United States that can happen?
I just explained it's not, for the most part. It's not. And here, even if it was a small, little known office, somebody would get fired for that. They would be hard pressed to find another job in the medical field for getting fired for that. And if they held a professional certification or licensure, like nursing or something, they could lose their license. And let me tell you, people work very hard for their medical licenses or certifications. Like, I had to bust my freaking butt. You don't know how hard it was to get my nationally registered paramedic certification. And all of the accompanying certifications I had to get for it to maintain that one, let alone nursing, being a doctor or surgeon. It's a lot of work. It's your life, and it's a lot of blood, sweat, and actual tears to do stuff like that. So I wouldn't risk that for anything as far as like just snitching that, oh yeah, Amberlynn Reid comes here.
Because I'm guessing if you found out where my doctor was and phoned them, you wouldn't get through.
You wouldn't get information. No, none.
What the fuck are randos on the internet having an impact on her healthcare plan? What in the hell?
And that's the main takeaway, is they are not. Amber's healthcare plan was only affected by her own actions, or in this case, lack of action and personal accountability and personal effort.
Kind of famous doctor. Quite frankly, he should sue her for slander.
You know what? And that's like something during this whole thing I mentioned in my videos, like I said, if anything, Amber was making this surgery program look bad. Not necessarily the surgeon himself or the program, but like specifically the dietitian, because this is a woman that as she put out videos, she kept telling us, I'm doing everything. I'm following their plan to the T. I'm so much better. And yet she kept not losing weight and gaining weight. So we know that she wasn't sticking to it. And then she would come back and say, oh, I had an appointment and they said I'm doing great. They're so proud of me. But, oh, it's just my lipedema that's keeping me from losing weight. So we're doing this and we're doing that. But it's not me. They said I'm doing great. My dietitian sang my praises and told me that I am the most prepared patient they've ever had, that she's so impressed with me that I'm actually more ready and more committed than people who have already gone through with the surgery process. Which one is totally shitting on those people who actually went and, in Amber's words, did the damn thing and put in the work and made changes. And we're like, and then she came back ultimately and said that they approved her and wrote her this gloating email about how wonderful she is. And, oh my God, Amber, did we do something wrong? Do you not want to get your surgery because of us? Because, you know, you're so perfect that we want to do this surgery on you. No, they did not approve her. She said they completely, the dietitian, the therapist, everybody across the board approved her. And it left hundreds of thousands of people going, what kind of lousy dietitian is this? What kind of shitty therapist is this that would approve Amber when we know for a fact that she hasn't, and they know too that she's gained weight? And that she admitted that she's been eating off plan and not trying and eating all takeout and doing the complete opposite of what they said. Yet they approve her and sing her praises. She made this plan, this program look bad. And if anything would have tarnished their image, it would have been that via her actions.
Because she's making him look like shit. This doctor's so weak that a few phone calls from randos on the internet make him backtrack and change his entire surgical plan for her.
Yep.
Really, Amber? I'm guessing Dr. Smith might disagree with that.
And the dietitian is going to, and the therapist is going to move her along at this time, Amber was probably the biggest patient in their program. The fattest, if not, or one of them at the very least. Like, so you mean to tell me that they're singing the praises of this 500+ pounder who's gained 20 pounds in the 6 months she's been in your program and admitted, hey, I've been eating takeout, I haven't been doing anything. And then they're still going, oh yeah, Amber, you're so great, you're so amazing. Your honesty with us has shown us how ready you are and how much you've changed. No, it shows she's changed nothing. And that she isn't going to change anything. She couldn't even lose a pound. She couldn't even maintain her weight. They would not have moved her along at that point. She would have had to have shown some type of personal self-control. Like, holy shit. Like rehashing this whole thing, reliving this frustrates me, and I'm glad this era is over and she won't revisit again until she really needs money.
Got in the way.
Or unless a new boo is like on her way out the door again.
So once the surgeon heard about all this and heard my side of the story, that is when things were changed. And he was like, you know what? A year is way too long. He explained to me that they've never been in this type of situation.
So we did a help. She could get the surgery earlier. We did a help.
Where
we did a thing. We did a good thing.
Gets doxxed, and now he's receiving all of these messages and calls.
He wasn't doxxed, you moron. Do you know what doxing is?
No.
Sharing a public website with public contact information on it for a public service. Okay, private service, whatever. It's not doxing. And the entire internet has said it, except for, bless you, mama, but, everybody in the damn community knows it wasn't doxing and you're just being ridiculous.
It wasn't. And stuff like, not only like was that
it's like, she hurts my head, but like, if anything, I think what happened was the surgeon had regular consultations with the dietitian and stuff after her appointments, and the dietitian was like, this girl she refuses to stick to a plan. She cannot. I've changed and lowered and dumbed down her dietary plan as much as I can possibly go, and she still cannot and will not do it, and she's still gaining weight. And I think that there was a combination of that and the fact that she was 500 pounds and gained 20 some pounds and was now up to 500, almost 530 pounds as a 5'2" female with a history of fat related cancer. I think that, and I don't know, God, I wish I could get my hands on her blood work, on all of her advanced blood work and scans and tests. Oh, it would be like Christmas for me because I'm a freaking nerd like that. But it would tell me a lot. I think that they probably, well, I know she had trouble with her liver before, like her liver enzymes and stuff whenever she had the cancer. So I think that her testing probably showed that she has like fatty liver. Definitely insulin resistance. It might have shown, they probably suspected her of having the sleep apnea, which I guarantee she has. It might have shown elevations in her blood sugar. So she may have presented with these problems and possibly being pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic, like her A1C might have been elevated, her fasting blood sugars might have been elevated, her triglycerides, her inflammatory or liver enzymes might have been elevated. So I think the combination of things probably said to the doctor, okay, you know what, look, we need to get her in here and perform a SATI on her, just to like, out of literally, we need to literally try to save this woman's life. Start getting some of this weight off of her. Try to get some of these things under control, and then they can go back later and convert it into like a bypass and stuff like that. Like I said, do additional surgeries if they need to. But I think that SATI is so drastic, and it's for people that are so sick and so non-compliant. I think he chose it because of her lack of action and and he knew if we don't do something, she's going to continue to gain weight, get back up to 600 plus pounds again, and then we're going to have real problems. So I think that is why he chose to change her plan, move it up, and set things going in that direction. So anyways, I'm going to end it here. I just wanted to do this to say that Amber is making mountains out of molehills. He was not doxxed. None of her information ever would have been shared, and nothing anybody said would have had any effects on her medical plan. It may have affected how they looked at her and went, man, wow, this woman is a freaking, ooh, she's a train wreck. Or they might have looked at her videos and said, wow, this woman has made herself an online villain. Like, she makes people mad. Yeah, she really does lie. But okay, so what was her weight again today at her appointment? Is she sticking to her diet? What was her blood work today? You know, like the YouTube thing would have had no effect on her treatment plan. So anyways, I'm going to go. I'm going to try to get this posted sometime today. Narc alert, if you ever happen to see this, hi. If you ever see this, Amber, hey bitch. So I'm going to go. I hope you guys are having a good one. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.